Good afternoon and welcome to This Week at Alabama A&M University. I'm your host, Michael Burns. Today, my guest is from Drake State Community and Technical College here in Huntsville, Alabama, located just down the street from Alabama A&M University. This is Karen Ray, who is Placement and Apprenticeships Coordinator, is here with us today, and we're going to talk about their Pathways program, which has a direct tie-in to Alabama A&M University. So first, let me welcome Ms. Ray to This Week at Alabama A&M University. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Well, and we're glad to have you. Now, I said that you were a Placement and Apprenticeships Coordinator at Drake, but as we all know, there's more to it than that. What else do you do for the university? And tell us a little bit about that job.
Well, first of all, I'm really in charge of making sure our students, once they graduate, they get placement in different industries across here in Huntsville, well, the Tennessee Valley, really. And I also summer internships, apprenticeships, and different programs. I also work very closely with our workforce development group to make sure that we're bringing industries to Drake to show them what we can offer them and how we can help them step forward in this next big growth that we have here in Huntsville.
Now, when we talk about placement, I know when I was in school, it was called the placement office here at Alabama A&M. Sometimes you might get the idea that you're just taking people and throwing them into a slot or something like that. But actually, your job is to bring those employers to the college and put the right people with them, or put the students with the right people. Is that correct?
I do that, and I also make sure that they're prepared. So we go through resumes, interview skills, how to dress for an interview, how public speaking, just the little tweaks that will give them the comfortability and the leg up to interview for a job, that they can secure that job with their knowledge. A lot of students, some of them, it's the first time that they're going for a big job interview and they're not sure what to expect. So I sort of make sure that they're ready and prepared and give them the confidence to know that they can take their education and go forth and start a career for the rest of their lives.
Now, we came on today to talk about the Pathways program, which is a collaborative effort between Drake and Alabama A&M University. Give us an overview of this Pathways program.
So our Pathways program is students can come to Drake for the first 2 years of their education and transfer to a program at Alabama A&M. So, for example, our computer information systems programs, a lot of students will transfer into your computer programs over at A&M, and we also have A&M students come back to us for certificates that we provide in computer information technology, like cybersecurity certificates. We have Google IT certificates, and we do see a lot of A&M students come back to do those.
We were off mic earlier talking about this on some of the background. And you said some exciting things to me about the cybersecurity part of it also when we talked about this collaborative effort, because you've got folks that have graduated, as you said, from A&M with computer degrees, but they go back to Drake to get some certificates that enable them to perhaps do a little bit more with their jobs or to put them into the position they weren't in. But also, you're having folks come out of high school going into this 2-year program, and they're stepping out into the professional world with some of this same training. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Because they get the hands-on experience, and industry likes to see the certificates because you have to actually physically show the knowledge opposed to just write and test the knowledge. It's a work-based learning event with the certificates. So industry, they're nationally recognized, the certificates we offer here at Drake, and industry are looking for that from their 4-year grads too, not only just their 2-year grads.
Let's talk about how students coming out of high school are eligible to participate in this Pathways program?
Well, at Drake, you can come in with your ACT score, or you also can come in and take an AccuPlacer, which will place you in the classes that you take, and you take the exact same classes that you would take at A&M in a smaller environment that is probably a little less daunting for a high school student, because I know some high school students, they go to university and they're put in this big auditorium with 100 other students. Not right now during COVID, of course, but in generally, and they're not ready for it. So we're just a smaller, quieter atmosphere for them to come to adjust, to go to that next step when they're ready to.
All right, and we spoke of these people coming out of high school, but also there are other exceptions or other categories of students that can come into this program also. We spoke a little bit earlier about some of those that are coming through the Ready to Work program, I understand. And also you offer the GED for those that did not complete the typical 12-year education.
The GED classes are free here at Drake. So you can come and you can get your GED at no cost. Ready to Work is another where we sit and we do financial literacy. We help you with your resume, just skills to get to the next level for a job after your GED. We also offer a Ready to Work program right now that's very popular. It's the Manufacturing Skilled Standard Council program, and we call it the MSSC. This is a program that manufacturers love to see. So floors like Mazda, Toyota, and Toyota, they see an employee coming in with these, you get 10 certificates with them. These certificates, you definitely would have a leg up than an average high school or GED grad.
Okay, and then they still have that option of continuing their education there at Drake while they're in the workforce.
Absolutely. If you graduate with our Ready to Work program, you actually get one free technical course, a CTE course, for free. So to no charge, to start you on your pathway of either a short-term, long-term certificate, and eventually your associate.
Let's discuss what are the steps a person needs to take to get enrolled at Drake and participate in this Pathways program. What do they need to do while they're in high school, and what do they need to do after graduation?
Well, in high school, we also dual enroll, so you can check and see our dual enrollment program, which is on our website, which is drakestate.edu. And also you can come and see us. We are open, need to have a mask, but we are allowing students in to come and apply. We also have applications on that same website. So whether you're trying to apply for Ready to Work, GED, or our regular pathway program, everything is online, or you can gladly come down, and we have a lot of people in admissions that would love to help you.
All right. And once I'm in school, then like you said, there's a placement test that I take that can put us in the proper classes to work towards this pathway programs. At the end of 2 years, or however long it takes, what happens then?
Well, after the 2 years and you graduate, hopefully you'll be working steadily with me to make sure that we have you in the career of your choice that you want to go. Like people that just want to come to a 2-year, they can get a position after they graduate with their associates. We have a lot of workplace learning programs that students are working in industry while going to school. So they may go to school Tuesday, Thursday, and be working at one of these big manufacturing companies that we have on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, making a pretty good wage and a high possibility of being hired afterwards. We also have apprenticeship programs that are starting in January one with HVAC, which is heating, air, and refrigeration. And industry is coming in, and they're going to have students working while they're going to school. So these students and these employers have a 5-semester interview to figure out that this is what they want to do, and for the employer to say, yeah, this is what I want. The employer also shows them the ways that they need it done in their industry. So it's not like they have somebody that comes in that's been working 30 years and they have to say, no, we don't do it that way. They are actually training these people to their specific needs.
How long has the Pathways program been in effect at Drake?
Well, the Pathways program has been in effect, but I believe the MOU had been signed 2 years ago when
Okay.
Dr. Sims came in.
Okay. So it hasn't been a very long running, but the agreement between Alabama A&M and Drake has been in effect for several years. And like I said, they have a very close history. In fact, the land Drake sits on, and I don't know if you knew, that part actually belonged to Alabama A&M and was deeded to Drake so that you guys could be there. And it's been a great relationship.
I agree. When I first started here in career placement, Director Clayton invited me over to some of her events for me to see. So, she was like, you're our sister down the street. Please come in and see what we're doing that I could take back to Drake. So, A&M has been a very great partnership. And like I say, when I look at the end of the year, who needs a job, a lot of our students do transfer to A&M.
Earlier this week, I spoke with Dr. Little here on the campus of Alabama A&M, who's with the Community College Relations. And we talked about Transfer Week and the fact that folks from schools like yours transfer to Alabama A&M, and we show their appreciation of those folks. And we talked about the fact that these young people or in some cases, very older people coming out of these technical schools, out of the community colleges, have a maturity about them when they get to that four-year institute that translates. It makes them kind of stand out a little bit when they get on campus, because a lot of that brashness, if you will, if you were a youngster, and a lot of that fun loving has matured, and now you're ready to get serious about what you want to do in your career.
I'm the first one to say I love my youth students, but my non-traditional students, they are here and they are driven and they see exactly their pathway on what they want to take, and there's nothing stopping them. And generally they know they have to work hard because a lot of them have a family, a lot of them have jobs, but they see where they need to go for their future, and they just move right along.
Earlier, we spoke about some of the things that benefits, if you will, that the students at Drake that are in the Pathways program receive and could use at Alabama A&M University. And you mentioned a few of the things that they get to participate in, or as if they were actual students at Alabama A&M University. You want to touch on those?
Well, your student activities, Drake students are welcome. I know, like we discussed, it's a little bit different this year because of COVID, but the doors have always generally been open to Drake students to come onto your campus and use the facilities and be a part of the culture at A&M, which I think helps the pathway of them wanting to transfer there.
Right. They have use of the Wellness Center, which is a great benefit to anyone.
Yes.
They have used the Wellness Center, the Beyond Normal lecture series, which once again has fallen victim more or less to the COVID-19 pandemic. But that was a great thing because there were speakers coming here on campus that you folks were coming up the street to see. And I do recall that last year I spoke with someone, you had someone at the Black History Month program that you invited everybody from A&M to come down and participate. So there is a collaboration between the two schools, and it's one that's bred some great things, some great activities. Now, outside of the Pathways program, I asked you some things about your job before we went on, and you mentioned the apprenticeships and also the workforce programs. What is that?
So apprenticeships and workforce, so work-based learning.
Work-based learning, thank you.
Yes. So that is, like I briefed on from before, our students have an opportunity to actually work with industry while they're in their technical programs. So they could be working at a Mazda Toyota while taking their studies. And so the curriculum is worked out with industries to make sure that it is along the path on how they want the students to develop to come work for them full-time after they graduate. So students are getting real-world experience on the job while getting their education. It's also a partnership. So if they quit school, the industry lets them go. So it's a partnership between industry and Drake to make sure these students graduate, but they graduate with a career at the end, and 95% of the time, the person they did their work-based learning offers them a position full-time because they're trained on every process they want them to be.
Do you have numbers or figures that kind of tell us how well Drake is doing as far as placing these students in the workforce?
Well, at workforce this year, we've had Drake has been reinvented under Dr. Sims. Dr. Sims is son of vision. We have students that we've never had intern before in NASA. We have students being interned in NASA, which for a community college is really generally unheard of. They want four-year students. We have Mazda, Toyota, we have all the industries coming to us. So our placement, don't have the numbers in front of us, but has increased drastically and will continue to increase because COVID has not stopped our partnerships. We are very busy here at Drake. Our enrollment also increased this year, which was very unheard of.
Remarkable. That's remarkable.
We increased our fall enrollment. So we are full speed ahead and just making sure we follow all safety protocols. But our students have bright lights at the end of the tunnel here at Drake.
Let's speak on those protocols for just a second. We know that universities, colleges, primary and elementary schools and secondary schools have all had to take precautions. What are some of the things that Drake is doing right now to protect the health of their students, staff, and faculty?
Well, like A&M, we have masks here on campus. Once you're on campus, unless you're in an office with a closed door, that it's just you in the office. We have socially distanced our staff, also alternating, working from home, remotely for different people to make sure that staff and faculty stay safe. But for our students, we have moved to more of a hybrid base. So the instructors are still doing their instruction time, but they're also taping it on Zoom. So the students can either log on Zoom or it's taped that they can look at it later. We do this for the fact that, we do have non-traditional students that may work right now during COVID and also have children at home due to remote learning. So this gives them the flexibility to make sure that they still can get all their studies done and still take care of themselves and their families. We're a technical school, so we do have a lot of labs. So our lab areas, we have limited the students, either depending on the size of the lab, either 5 to 10 students, rotating. Our instructors have been fantastic with their schedules to make sure that their students get what they need to complete their studies. And we're doing our social distancing and making sure that life goes on here at Drake, but in a safe manner, and that our students get the educational needs that they need.
It sounds like you're doing a great job with those directives that we're having to work with. Everybody is under pressure. Everybody has these same constrictions about them, and everybody's trying to do the best they can. You guys seem to be doing good. I mean, you had an increase in an enrollment. So that's remarkable. We're speaking with Ms. Karen Ray from Placement and Apprenticeship Coordinator at Drake State Community and Technical College here in Huntsville, right down the street from Alabama A&M University, our sister institution, if you will. And we talked about the Pathways program. Before I let you go, though, are there some other things happening at Drake that we need to know about, or some other things that you want to pass along?
Well, there's a big event coming up for our students, which is great. We're doing our first youth mentoring task force, which you have a similar program at A&M. So we have individuals from Huntsville, different professions that want to mentor our students. We'll have some soft skill workshops, so some resume writing workshops, some interview skill workshops, some public speaking workshops, and we're offering that on October 27th and 28th for our students.
Well, that's outstanding. If somebody wanted to contact you or someone at Drake concerning this Pathways program or anything else related to enrollment or classes, curriculum, if you will, who would they call or who would they reach out to via email, or what's the best way for them to find out that information?
Well, they can go to our website, which again is drakestate.edu. There also, our campus is open from 8 to 5. Anybody can come down and somebody would be glad to help them. They also can contact me. I'm Karen Ray, and it's karen.ray, R-A-Y, at drakestate.edu. My number is 256-551-5227.
All right, now, if they're like me, you got to say it slow because I can't write numbers fast. So say that number again.
It's 256-551-5227.
5227. There, I'm one of those that you'll have to say that number three times. And if I don't get it the third time, I won't make that call. So we appreciate you joining us today on This Week at Alabama A&M University. Thank you so much for being with us, Ms. Wright.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we look forward to finding out more about this Pathways program, and maybe we can get an update from you next semester to see how we're going right there. That's going to take care of us for today here on This Week at Alabama A&M University. I'm your host, Michael Burns. Until next time, I invite you to stay with us right now for more Afternoon Expressions with Marcus Sims, 90.9 FM WJAB.